Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review. How are you doing? This channel, of course, TCG, always welcomes you to your weekend. New content every single Friday. How was your Thanksgiving? Please let us know. Comment down below how your Thanksgiving was. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you. So for the subscribers outside of the US, you probably know that Thanksgiving is the first, or number 2 favorite holiday for Americans. So in surveys, Thanksgiving consistently ranks as number 1 or number 2 as far as what is your favorite holiday. And they particularly note that it is fun to spend time with family and not have to worry about exchanging gifts. So Thanksgiving really is good food, usually turkey or tofurkey, football, and of course spending time and eating far too much, which quite frankly Americans are pretty damn good at. So happy belated Thanksgiving, and this is a time, of course, in which we sit back and express our gratitude and give our thanks. And so I want to take a moment and say thank you very much for all of your support in this small yet spirited YouTube channel. You know, as you know, I rely heavily on my charisma and, of course, the fact that I essentially am a walking twin of Jeremy Fragrance. That aside, you guys have come in droves and supported my channel, and I really, really appreciate that. I'm genuinely touched. And I will have more to say about gratitude and giving thanks in just a minute as it pertains to this episode. So last week I mentioned that in the last 6 days I had broken a record for the number of subscribers in 6 days, and guess what? This week we actually broke last week's record. So I really appreciate all of the new subscribers, and I will put here my channel trailer. And bottom line is I have a 5-spray system for a review like this one, in which I give a number between 1 and 5. No halves. You can't have half sprays. And then I put that number on me at the end. I am not sponsored in any way, and so I have very unbiased, independent reviews. And as I've said earlier, I really, really sit back and I have to be quite persnickety when it comes to my reviews, because I just can't be spending money willy-nilly. So I really have to give a thorough critique of a fragrance if I'm going to purchase it. So it's something I really enjoy, of course, and welcome aboard. And always remember, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications for this channel, especially if you watch me on your phone. That's very important. And then, of course, smash, and I mean smash, that subscribe button if you have not already. All right, so without further ado, let's dive in, shall we? You know, speaking of Thanksgiving and giving thanks, I have to tell you, with his permission, I can say that subscriber Brian reached out a while back and said, I was incredibly touched by this. He said that he really enjoys the channel. I think he found me through Daniel's son, if I'm not mistaken, and he can correct us. And he reached out and said he wanted to send me a bottle of fragrance. So I assumed originally that he meant, you know, one that he had and it had, you know, 20-30% left in it. But he actually meant a brand spanking new bottle. So this review is dedicated to subscriber Brian. He reached out, he sent me a brand new bottle of Ford Mustang Performance, and I'm incredibly touched by that. So I want to give thanks to him and certainly say how much I appreciate his support. So thanks again, Brian. I really appreciate that, and I will have a little bit more to say about that in the bonus feature. So stick around until the very end, my friend. Okay, so this is going to be a relatively transparent review, actually, because I feel like I know what's going on as far as the inspiration behind this one. This one has a batch code of 20135. 20135, and you can see here that it's got yellow and black, and then everything about it, talking about the grill here, and it's got a nice feel to it. And of course, it says here, we've got the Mustang. It doesn't say that. So when you open it, you first see Ford Mustang Performance, and they do go ahead and say that this is an official licensed product, right? So there it is, official licensed product by Ford. So as you might not know actually, but a lot of automobile companies have in the last 10, 15 years have released fragrances. It's kind of a fad. I don't know who started it, but I have a feeling it might be Bentley, but everyone has one now. Ferrari, Lamborghini. I will say that the Bentley ones have been the best so far. So when you remove the cap, you can see here the atomizer is fantastic. Wow. And I just sprayed that right into my Coke Zero. So it'll taste and smell good. So the atomizer is fantastic, and the cap is a little cheap, but I'll go ahead and tell you right now, this is a cheapie. So it's also a clear clone of a fragrance whose name I will mention soon. Mid-90s, vanilla, lavender, mint, okay? Sandalwood, male torso of the bottle. Yep, that's right, exactly. So this one is, in my estimation, a clear example of a clone, or people call it a copy, but I like the word clone, for Le Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier. When it comes to the name itself, you have to understand, in the 90s, everyone had one or at least or more of 3 bottles, all right? Throughout the 90s, you guys, so if you wore fragrance in the 90s, you either rocked Drakkar Noir, Cool Water, or Le Male. It's Mark Robes, so Robes 08, the Canadian guy that started, I think he was kind of one of the founding fathers of fragrance reviews. That was his signature fragrance, might even still be, but I know he really, really enjoys Le Male. So it is a classic 90s fragrance, and it was a smashing success. You guys probably know it. If you haven't had it, it's the one with the male torso, and I have a picture here so you can see the bottle. So it was a huge success. It was the proverbial game changer. In my estimation, it is a barber shop fragrance, and it's going to be a vanilla. For me, it's a vanilla bomb, but I would say a vanilla, lavender, and sandalwood bomb. It has an unmistakable smell to it. It is quite distinct, and that's why it's easy to say this one is a clone of it. So this is going to be a cheapie, and it is, of course, a clone of the smashing success from 1995, which was a whopping 26 years ago, my friends. And so that's what's going on here. So this is Ford Mustang Performance 2016, and it is an Amber Fougère. Fougère, of course, is French for fern, so this is going to be quite herbaceous, and then it's going to have an amber quality to it. So again, it's tapping into the notion of barbershop, aftershave, shaving cream smell, especially in the initial blast. Okay, so that's the nomenclature. It is a Ford automobile release. I'm going to talk a little bit about. Actually, let me go ahead and do it now. This is called the Mustang Performance. So for those of you who feel that a Ford Mustang, of course, is a sports car, that this is going to be the ultra masculine fragrance with a lot of woods in it. That is not the case. So this is going to be quite masculine indeed, but it's the barbershop shaving cream type of masculine fragrance. So from me, I have to admit, I see this as masculine, maybe quite, but not ultra masculine. So, but I wanted to be clear when I guess one possible critique would be for some people when they're thinking sports car, they're going to be thinking a lot of woods and maybe even tobacco. A lot of the notes that are associated with ultra masculine and maybe perhaps not so much of the barbershop-esque fragrances. This is on that side. This is a barbershop fragrance. So all right, so let's take a look at the notes. I get 5. And so I get lavender. Definitely the big 3 are lavender, vanilla, sandalwood, and then I like the mint here, and then of course cardamom. So when you hear those, if you have had Le Male, you better be thinking, wait a minute, I think that's déjà vu all over again, as they say, and it is. So those are the 5 notes that really stand out. When I first sprayed it, I just had to smile because it brought me back. So I have good news for Brian, because if you're thinking, oh no, maybe he's had a whole bunch of Le Male bottles. In the 90s, of course I had Drakkar Noir. I did have 1 bottle of Cool Water. I wasn't a huge fan. I liked it. I did have 1 bottle. I had multiple bottles of Drakkar Noir, but I had never had Le Male. So I'm happy to say that this is my first go around. Now I did have a sample, a decant of Le Male, so I've smelled it, but I've just never had a full bottle, and so I'm excited to add this one to my collection. So those are the notes, and when it comes to projection, longevity, and sillage, I have to tell you that I do differ with a number of reviews that I saw. Comments were saying that it only lasts 2 to 4 hours. I don't know what they're talking about, because this guy will get you a 6 to 8. In fact, when my first day wearing this, I applied a little bit too much, and it was on my clothes for a very, very long time. If you spray on your skin, you're looking at a work shift, 6 to 8 hours, easily closer to 8 actually. And then if you spray on your clothes, it's going to last a very, very long time. One of the things I put in my notes for this, I actually was happy to see that when Brian and I were commenting back and forth, he mentioned on my bed sheets episode that this would be a possible fragrance for that, and I couldn't agree more. The first day I wore this, I sprayed it on my hoodie, on my skin, and I took a nap. And then when I got back up, the pillowcase and the sheets were just emanating Ford Mustang performance. So this would be another one that you would consider, especially for spraying on your bed sheets, or an after shower fragrance also, because it is quite clean. Again, with the barbershop element, the shaving cream would be perfect for after shower, especially if you shower at the end of the night before bed. So here's what I think as far as the longevity. I'm going to say 6 to 8, closer to 8, easily a work shift. When it comes to projection, this guy projects quite well. This one in the first 3 to 4 hours, I'd even say go easy on the trigger. I had no problems with longevity or projection. I'm not sure if somebody else got a different batch or whatever there, but I do disagree, because I got more than moderate when it comes to projection. I would say excellent for the first 4 hours, meaning an arm's length away, and then after that it gets a little closer, but it's going to project. You will get noticed. It's bold and brash, which falls perfectly in line with a Ford Mustang. So when it comes to sillage, coming in and out of rooms, again, leaving a scent trail, this is another one that will get you noticed. And I have a funny feeling that if you're over 40, or the person smelling you is over 40, they will probably ask you if you're wearing Le Male. All right, so some of you will notice that the lighting has changed. It was a dreary day all day, and then right when I started to record, of course, the sun came out. So that is projection, longevity, and sillage. Now, when it comes to gender, here's what I think is going on for me. In the first 10 to 15 minutes, this is, again, quite masculine. After that, though, the vanilla and the mint rise to the occasion. And so I actually feel like the first 10 to 15 minutes, unquestionably masculine. I would put this, though, in the masculine to quite, again, not way over though in the continuum. So if we have feminine, we have unisex, and we have masculine off the charts here. I put it right around here because after the first 15 minutes, it does get a little bit more unisex, which is why it would be a good choice for bed sheets. It has a very, very pleasant smell. When it comes to vanilla, lavender, and sandalwood, I mean, who couldn't pull that off, and who doesn't find that rather serene and pleasant? So here's what I think's going on with this fragrance. I feel like I've cracked the code. I was going to hold this content off for only my Patreon subscribers, but I don't have Patreon. So there you have it. You are my VIP, okay? And I save this content just for you. So here's what I think's going on. I feel like, imagine this, right? Imagine a board meeting in Ford, right? They just finished a board meeting. Everyone is left except for two guys, let's just say, what, mid-40s, something like that. And they're talking about the subject matter, whatever the meeting was about. And then all of a sudden, one of them picks up the other guy's fragrance, and he's like, hey, dude, no, don't take this the wrong way, but just wondering, what fragrance are you wearing? And I have a feeling like he's going to say, you know what, it's Le Male, okay? It's Le Male from the mid-90s, and I wanted to take a walk down memory lane, and I wanted to really enjoy it yet again. But here's the thing, it's got the quirky bottle, and so it is a male torso, and I'm not a big fan of the bottle, but I am a big fan of the fragrance. So I bet the other guy was like, if you don't like the bottle, but you like the fragrance, I got an idea. Why don't we, see, it's a big moment. It's a big moment. Why don't we make a clone smells like Le Male, but doesn't have the quirky bottle? And that, my friends, is Ford Mustang Performance. That's what I think happened. I think they were inspired. I think they had a goal, and the goal was to create something that smelled just like it, while yet avoiding the male torso in a sailor uniform. So there you have it. That is what's going on with this fragrance. All right, so let me quickly state, when it comes to the gender, I've already established that it is masculine to quite masculine. And so I would say this. I would say you're probably looking at about, why don't we say 70-30? I think 75-25. I think 75% of people who own this fragrance would be men, and I think 25% would be women, especially because they'd be willing to give up, again, the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then after that, where it enters into more of the vanilla and mint, and just an outright pleasant fragrance. So we're going to go 75-25 on gender. And then when it comes to age, I think you're going to see two things, actually. So let me just ask you. I'll just ask you. Okay, if you saw this bottle as a stocking stuffer, what age group would you say? Yep, go ahead. Yep, I thought so. So this really looks like teenager. When it comes to the box, and it comes to, the cab has a grill on it, right? And it's Ford Mustang, it's a sports car. So I think there is going to be two types of people. Actually, three. When it comes to age, I think you're going to see 40 and up on the guy side, because they're wanting to take a walk down memory lane and experience Le Male yet again. Or they've never had it, but all their friends did, and they finally wanted to try it. And then I think I also see this as a perfect stocking stuffer for like just got their braces on and their driver's license type. I could see somebody getting a Ford for their 16th birthday, and they want to rock this fragrance. It does have a youthful quality to it, and especially the packaging to me is geared more towards the teenagers. So I think actually it's quite versatile if you think about it, because it's pretty much 16 and up, right? I think the 40 and up crowd will want to experience this because they'll like either the barbershop element to it, or the fact that it reminds them of Le Mans. And then the younger crowd, excuse me, will like this because, if nothing else, because of the packaging in itself. Plus, it's a cheapie. So this would be a perfect first-time Cologne, for example. This would be a great stocking stuffer for the teenager in your life. So again, I think you're going to see either 40 and up, people who like Le Mans but don't want the bottle in their collection, teenager, or someone who just likes to spray this on their sheets, pillowcases, or after shower if you shower at the end of a day. It does have a calming presence to it, and I really appreciate that about this fragrance. So there you have it, folks. That is this 2016 Amber Fougere, a literal blast from the past. Sorry, no, I know that was bad. To Le Mans from 1995, a whopping 26 years ago. Trivia time, which fragrance did I rock the most in the 90s? Yep, Ramsey got it. So it is Il by Lancetti. I had 4,812 bottles from 90 literally to 1999. That was my 90s signature scent. So I have never had Le Mans. And I am really going to enjoy this. I will be keeping this in my collection. And quite frankly, thanks to Brian, I have the bottle that I like with the fragrance smell that I like. So perfect. All right, so with regard to the seasons, this one is another clear-cut choice. This one is going to be perfect for the fall and winter. This is a fall-winter fragrance. You might be able to get by with this in the early spring, but I don't know that I would reach for this in really hot weather. You certainly could, especially at night if it's a little cooler, but if it's over 80, 85 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't know that I would reach for this. Go easy on the trigger if you do, because it would certainly be cloying. This is perfect for this type of year when it is cool and even cold out. So again, excellent choice for the holidays, excellent choice for fall and winter. All right, so let's take a look at the rating. When it comes to Ford Mustang performance, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. And really, it's not so much a docking point. Usually I'll say I docked it for this and I docked it for that. Actually, this time around, I just must tell you, the combination of lavender and vanilla, I like. I do like it. I just can't say that I love. And I also wouldn't necessarily say that this one, meaning Le Mans, would be the absolute best in that category. I do like it, and so I'm going to go 3 out of 5. The cap's very cheap, but I commend them for their price, and I commend them for. This is very transparent. They're very open about what they're doing here. And again, this is not knocking on the door to Le Mans. This one is a clear clone. So 3 out of 5 for this fragrance. You guys know that 1 and 2 means I don't want it. It's a pass. 4 out of or 5 means I'm going to keep it. And then 3 is the gray area. I will definitely be keeping this in my collection. I like this fragrance a lot. I love the longevity. I've never had Le Mans in my collection, and only decants, and so this is. I feel at peace. I feel like I can really move on from the 90s. You're watching Full House. I know that you are. I feel like I can fully move on from the 90s because really this completes the Triple Crown, right? Because I had Cool Water, I had Drakkar Noir, and all that was left was Le Mans, and I'd rather have this one. So thank you very much, Brian. I really appreciate that. And we are going to go 3 out of 5. I will go 1 on each wrist and then 1 right, boom, on the hockey jersey in the center. So here we go. 3 out of 5 for 2016 Amber Fougere. And all right, so there you have it. Another review by the boards, 3 out of 5 for Ford Mustang performance. I really appreciated wearing it this week, and do me a favor. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like Le Male? Have you had this actual fragrance? And if you have, do you get good longevity? Because some people said 2 to 4 hours, and I don't see that at all. This is definitely an 8-hour fragrance for me on my skin. Also, let me know, what is your scent of the day? I always enjoy going back and forth and seeing everybody's different fragrances. And again, during this time of giving thanks, I will say thank you so much for all of your comments, support, and always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. All right, so welcome to the bonus feature. I really appreciate all 13 of you who have made it this far. You know, when it comes to the bonus feature, I really could take a box of stationery and write individually to each of you, and I would probably still have some envelopes left. So I appreciate all of you who stayed to the very end. You know, I wanted to say one last time, thank you so much to Brian, and he sent me this bottle, kindness of his heart. I've enjoyed reviewing this, absolutely will add it to my collection. I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the type of clout that I have here at That Cologne Guy. You know, Brian is from Georgia, all right? Brian is from Georgia. In the last 6 weeks, reached out, sent me this. We've been emailing back and forth, chit-chatting, commenting, etc., etc. He sends me a gift, and then the same time frame, the Atlanta Braves win the World Series. I mean, am I suggesting that TCG has the kind of clout, the kind of contacts to reach out to certain people and make certain things happen? I mean, you do the math. You connect the dots, okay? You connect the dots when it comes to that. Is it a coinky-dink that the same time that a guy from Georgia sends me a gift, that his Atlanta Braves win the World Series? I mean, I'm not saying that I orchestrated that, but connect the dots. All right, so watch him be from Houston and move to Georgia, and he's an Astros fan. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great week.